Hello everyone and welcome to the vlog. It is Friday night. I'm off work and I am ready to spend the whole weekend writing basically. I'm gonna start this with a very lofty goal, but I'm determined to hit it. I'm gonna be vlogging from now until about Tuesday or Wednesday, and I plan to write 1,000 words a day. I wanted to just do a little bit of a challenge. I want to challenge myself and force myself to write, but not in like a forcing myself to a burnout, but just like forcing myself to get a better jump start on this story, since I'm only like 1.3 thousand words in. Also, just a slight disclaimer that I'm not telling you that you need to write every day. I'm not telling you that you need to write 1,000 words to be a good writer. I'm just doing this because I thought it'd be fun. It's been a while since I did like a challenge with writing, and this is what I think will be best for me in kind of kicking my butt into really starting to get into the nitty-gritty of drafting. So I did not write yesterday, and I had every intention to. I sat down and I'm like, okay, 1,000 words, here I go. And I realized I couldn't really move forward because I couldn't really picture what the characters were wearing, and this is like a huge issue for me. I'm surprised I got as far as I did without knowing it. And even when I was writing those first 1.3 thousand words, I was like, I haven't mentioned what anybody's wearing yet. And this is concerning. It's honestly because I had such a hard time placing where I felt like the clothing inspiration would have come from for this story. I also like to think that my clothing descriptions elicit some type of feeling for readers. I spent a lot of time really paying attention to describing all the dresses that are used in the Serpent Court, and I really enjoyed that. And it just really helps with my world building period if you can fully imagine what these characters are wearing. I don't think I can continue writing until I figure this out. And Kevin from Kevin the Writer mentioned, he's like, I thought you decided what they were gonna wear from that website you showed me. So I found this really great like fashion timeline website, and I'll link it down below if you think this is something that would help you with your writing. And I found this like a couple months ago. I ended up bookmarking it because it's pretty much fashion through the ages and does like analyses between every decade, starting with like the ancient times and pretty much up to like the 21st century. Has a lot of examples, which I'm a visual learner, so I appreciate when I can see what they're talking about. The first, I was kind of picturing, and this is what I kind of had decided a couple months ago, but then like as I was writing it, I'm like, it doesn't feel right. So I had a very specific time period that I was kind of wanting to work with, and it was kind of like early romanticism, 1800 to like maybe 1820, but like not really. And I thought that was what I was going to use. As I was writing it, I'm like, I really can't see my characters wearing, you know, these clothes, as beautiful as they are. I gotta figure this out. So I have decided, really inspired by 1930s. Usually these kind of time periods don't really inspire me a whole lot, I'll be honest, but there's just something about like the old Hollywood glamour, slinky silhouettes, the open backs, the cinched waists, that I was like, you know what, I can see this. And honestly, the 1930s was when the Kennedys were like kind of rising into the public eye and stuff. So I'm like, I got, you know, it fits. The reason why I was like kind of like really put off by it at first was because like I don't want this book associated with like the 20s at all, because I feel like the 20s has a very certain aesthetic, and like that's just not my book. My book has no, you know, Gatsby deco, anything like that. I don't want the book to be associated with that. So I'm just like trying to like really fantasy the 1930s up, I guess, because the architecture is still very much like 18th century. I'm just hoping I can pull this off, basically. Now that I have like a fully realized clothing landscape, I feel like I can work with it. I actually ended up like writing down these are my notes for like the fashion, and I guess I mean there's nothing really spoilery on it, but like I'm not only writing like the different kinds of things that were like in fashion and stuff, I often put like buzzwords in there as well. So I'm planning to write 1,000 words. It's about 8 o'clock and definitely achievable within the next couple hours. So like Halsey is my favorite artist. They're the only artist that I actively follow and hope to find new music and really invested in their career. So when she dropped the album last night, I was like so so excited. I was only able to listen to it once before I went to sleep, and I listened to it a couple more times this today during work, because I feel like Halsey's albums you have to listen to multiple times to like fully grasp what they're going for, right? Especially the songs that I'm like not completely sold on yet, I have to listen to several times. But like overall, love the album. She did it again, and I like every single one of her albums. There's not one that I felt like is weaker. Like, they're all good. Anyway, so I'm just gonna like blast that in my ears right now as I start writing. And actually one of the songs, oh yeah, okay, so one of the songs, well obviously I feel like it's her lead single, but the I Am Not a Woman, I'm a God fits really well with Project Crime, which by the way, Project Crime, I'm no longer gonna call it that. I felt like the lighting was getting weird on the other side, so I real quick switched angles. What was I saying? Titles. So I don't really care about titles too much or revealing them, because I'm someone who, if I find something better, I'll switch it to that. Even like with the Serpent Court, you guys know I was calling it Cruel Family for the longest time. I didn't come up with the title The Serpent Court until like the week before I started querying. I think it's hard to find titles on some projects. So Project Crime is no longer gonna be called Project Crime, because though it fits, it doesn't fit anymore. I have decided to call this project from now on Hardly Gods. I have talked about how there's like this big pantheon of gods that have blessed families with magic basically. So I wanted to play with like gods in a book and also in a title. So Hardly Gods is right now going to be the title of the book, but again, that could change. The last thing I wanted to bring up, this is a really long intro, but I feel like I have so much to talk about. Once I finish my 1,000 words today, I'm gonna start reading. So I got this book, City of Brass. I'm sure everybody has heard about it, talked about it, probably read it. I'm just late to the game on everything. Kind of started it already. I'm 30 pages in. I'm really enjoying it so far. So my friend Kenya was like, hey, you should read this book because it seems like it's totally up our kind of alley, because she's currently reading it. It said it reminded her of Evie from The Mummy, and I was like, oh, here's the thing about like adult fantasy books is that I've come to realize that I need a strong romance subplot in every book that I read, just because that's what I enjoy reading the most, is like the relationships, and mostly the romantic relationships. So I need something like that to keep me going. It exists in adult fantasy, but I know it's not like the primary focus of adult fantasy. To be honest, I read the 5th season at the end of 2019, and I disliked that book so much. I know this is gonna be like a controversial yet brave opinion. I hated that book so much that it turned me off from all adult fantasy for over a year. In defense, because I know people are like aghast right now that I didn't enjoy that book, because like not even the poly relationship in there could have kept my interest. If it ends up becoming a TV show, I will 100% watch it and I'll probably enjoy it. I just don't think that for me, I didn't like that story being told in written form. So if it would have been told like in a movie format or a TV format, I'll probably enjoy it more. So that's just like my personal preference, but it like really turned me off from all adult fantasy. So 30 pages in, I love the writing style and I love the voice. And I think that's what was lacking for me in the 5th season. I left off like in the middle of the action scene. So I had to finish my word count so I can go back to it.
How come the stars come to shine when it's dark from so far away and show us where we are? What makes the sun go to sleep every night, and what's it dreaming of? I wonder.
Alexa just texted me a couple hours ago and she's like, hey, do you want to jump in on a stream with me and Laura and Miranda? So I was like, sure, might be a couple minutes late, and they actually just went live, so I'm about to hop on. I was busy eating some dinner and watching some RuPaul's Drag Race, and now I'm ready to start writing because I have not written yet today and I have to get that 1,000 words in. Last night I did pretty amazing. I did 1,300 words. Really proud of that, and I really liked what I was writing. I stopped literally in the middle of the meet cute because I wanted something like really exciting to start writing again today. I'm pretty sure I can finish up this chapter tonight. I'm on the 2nd chapter now, so what was going to be one long chapter I was just like, you know what, there's a little bit of a cliffhanger in the meet cute, so I'm like, I'll cut it off there, have that be the end of chapter 1, and I started again on chapter 2. So once I finish up chapter 2, I'm going to move to the male POV, Abel, and it's going to be his first chapter. So these first 2 chapters are all in Frankie's point of view, who is the main girl character. Now it's 11 o'clock and I just wanted to check in before I close this out for the night. I wrote 1,303 words today. I'm happy to say that I'm now in chapter 3. I just started Abel's chapter. It's like literally only a paragraph and a half, but he's on the board. I'm finally able to write him and get into his voice and everything. Could honestly write more, but I don't want to get burned out. I'm really happy with my word count, and I'm excited to see where I'll be at by the end of this vlog as well. For my manuscript target, I do have, which is a feature in Scrivener that I personally really love, and you can set manuscript target and a deadline. And my deadline, I just kind of threw up there as November 1st. I don't know if I'm gonna stick to that or whatever. I just wanted at least something to keep in mind. And I'm hoping to have 50,000 words by November 1st. So that's my official goal. I still would like this manuscript to be around 60,000. That's how much the first draft of the Serpent Court was. So that's kind of what I want to aim for. If I hit 50,000 before November 1st, I'm just gonna up it again to 60,000 or whatever. So I guess I'm hoping to have a first draft done by November 1st. I think that's possible. That's in 2 months. I think that's doable. Yeah. It is Sunday night and guys, I'm exhausted. My parents and my grandparents came over for lunch today because my grandparents had not seen my apartment yet, so that was a whole big production that happened earlier today, and then after they left, I pretty much just took a nap because I was exhausted. I'm up and I have to get my 1,000 words in. I'm going to cruise YouTube, see if anybody has any streams going, because I really need like the stream motivation right now to like get stuff done. Like I said last night, I am fully into Abel's point of view, and I'm going to try to stay in his point of view the entire night. I could probably easily get 1,000 words for him, and then I'm just going to call it. I was actually talking to Laura and Lindsay earlier about how, I say this in like a really good, in like the best way possible. I want to kind of treat this right now as like a job. So I'm coming in, I'm getting my 1,000 words in, and then I'm calling it. Treating it like that way really motivates me, and it'll make me feel like, hey, you got the whole night ahead of you where you can do whatever, read, watch TV, get ready for the upcoming week. Pretty much in the same position as I was in the last update, but I am done for the night. I have written 1,211 words, which is really awesome. I actually hopped on a hangout with Laura from Laura Writes, and we did some sprints together, and we both, you know, got our words in, and we're really happy with that. So we just got off our call there, and I am currently sitting at 5,220 words for the total of the manuscript. Did end up finishing the chapter with Abel, who is the male POV, and I have started the new chapter with Frankie again, and yeah, I'm just pretty much writing towards the end of Act 1, which is, of course, a party scene. I think I'll be able to get to that party scene by the end of this vlog. Tomorrow is the beginning of a new work week. and I just finished watching some TV, so since it's getting close to 8:30, I have to get my words in for the day. Yesterday I didn't really talk about it, I just kind of showed me doing all the words. I did sprints and showed the sprints, and I was able to do 3 sprints, and I got my 1.2 thousand words, and I went to sleep. So I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm writing tonight. I know I need to wrap up the current chapter that I'm writing, and I really want to start the party scene next, but I don't know pacing wise if that's what needs to happen next. I also thought of another short scene in Abel's point of view, who is the male main character. I just realized and thought of this last night. This would be a great way to tie in something that happens in the party scene. So I almost need to introduce this character sooner so that the attachment and the payoff is better in the next scene, in the party scene. So I'm trying to decide if I should do another chapter with him, but I don't know how long it's going to be. And I know I could just, you know, it's the first draft. I can just write what I need to write and then move on, and this is something that I can go back and correct later. Especially since I do plan to underwrite this draft. This is a good example of underwriting it. Writing what I need to in the chapter, knowing that I need to go back and finish that chapter out once I figure out what this chapter is trying to accomplish, but still getting that scene in. I guess talking it out in the vlog has helped me to kind of decide what I might want to do. Also, what's really difficult right now is that I introduced a secret for for Abel in his first chapter, which was chapter 3, and I don't know what the secret is. I know he's doing something, but I don't know why. I feel like I need to figure that out, but sometimes when you're writing 1,000 words a night, it's hard to like hit the pause button and figure some of this stuff out. But I do think knowing his secret going into these next chapters will only benefit me. So I kind of do need to figure it out and figure out what's he hiding. Because right now he's even hiding it from me. As the author, I should probably know this. So can I accomplish this tonight? Can I figure out what his secret is? Can I get to the party scene? Can I write that one random scene that doesn't really plump up to be a full chapter? We shall see. I just finished, it's about 11:15, and I'm pretty much gonna go to bed after I do this update. I wrote a very aesthetically pleasing number tonight, which was 1,111 words. My current overall word count is 7,614 words. I'm scared for the moment where I hit a wall, but we're not there yet. Ends up that scene that I wasn't sure I could make into a full chapter. I'm doing it right now, so that's nice. I'm basically just using it as a bridge to launch myself into the party scene. Where I stopped writing for the night is literally the scene break before they arrive at the party. So I thought that was a good place to stop for the night. Also, the other thing that I was working on was the secret, right? And I spent an hour. I told myself, oh, you're only going to spend an hour figuring this out online. So I went to one of my favorite websites, tvtropes.com or .org. tvtropes.org, I'll link it down below. That's just a really great site that brings up a lot of different tropes that you'll see in a lot of media, and I really use it a lot. I used it a lot for the Serpent Court. It just jogs your creativity. So I think I found the secret, and the secret does involve one of the other side characters. I hadn't fully developed the side character yet, so I'm like, this might work. Maybe when I actually start writing these interactions and kind of what's going on with the secret, I might figure out that this doesn't really sustain or work at all in the story, but at least I'm trying right now. And having this secret in mind makes his character easier for me to write, just because like I know in the back of my head what this secret is, so I can frame his narrative better. I'm actually going to be ending the vlog, so it is Wednesday? It's Wednesday. Because of the fact that today was an editing day for me with my vlog, this is the last clip I actually need to edit. Whenever I do my editing, the writing kind of falls to the wayside on those days. So unfortunately I wasn't able to write today, but I have all my stats for this experiment for you guys. Give me 1 minute while I add up the total. Okay, I finished mathing. For this vlog, I have written 6,235 words, and holy shit, I feel very accomplished about that. I can now say Hardly Gods' first draft is currently sitting at 7,614 words. Was this challenge a success? I 100% believe that, and I'm just really proud of all the words I wrote and everything. And then now I'm about to start writing the party scene, and pretty much that takes me to the end of Act 1, and I can't believe it. And I realized it's September 1st, and November 1st is now 2 months away. So I feel confident that I can finish a first draft by November 1st, and it's only a first draft. I don't need to stress. I don't need to make these grand epics of a first draft, you know? I'm just trying to tell the story to myself, and once I have that lump of clay, can I finally mold it in to something worth looking at? How was your guys' week of writing? I would really love to know, and I will see you guys all in my next vlog. Bye!